I would like to welcome to the stage, if I may, our next speaker. Now, representing Layer AI, we have a talk about AI production for game studios, how it's going and what to expect in 2025. So, please can I welcome to the stage, Joona Rahko from Layer AI. Round of applause, please, for our speaker.
Good morning, everyone. Everybody's talking about AI today. It's all over TV, it's all over news, it's all over your social media. And today is going to be no exception, so hopefully you got in the right meeting room. My name is Joona Rahko, and I'm the VP of Engineering at Layer AI. Layer AI is a generative AI-powered tool used by game studios to produce 2D, 3D, and video assets. Before Layer, I used to work as a senior principal engineer at Unity, where I helped to ship Unity Cloud and Unity gaming services. Overall, I have about a decade of experience in gaming industry, but one could say that I started my career pretty early. I think the first game studio that I founded was when I was 8 years old, along with my friend, which we called Dragon Arrows. My role in that startup, I guess if you want to call it that, was to come up with the stories for the games and draw sprites on Paint. So you could say that game development today looks quite a bit different than it did 25 years ago. But yeah, let's jump into the content of today. Malfunction. Okay, there we go. Okay, I guess you didn't see this slide before. That's where we go. Cool. So I'm going to get us off by talking about the current state of AI very briefly. And thereafter, we're going to focus on some of the unique challenges that the game studios today are facing, and what is Layer doing to address some of those challenges. Lastly, we're going to finish off with some future look ahead in terms of what we're planning to do in the future to tackle some of the challenges of today and of the future. Oh, sorry, my bad. Good. You might have all heard this quote just said before. AI is no longer a competitive advantage, but it is a necessity. That this is more true so than ever before, both for us as individuals and as companies. In order for us to be competitive in the market, we need to use these tools to get that extra competitive edge. We've also noticed a couple of interesting themes happening in the industry. The first one is that everything is moving so fast. There's new models popping up every single week, and it's really hard to keep up with what's going on. The second thing is that the legislation is actually lagging behind, which puts a bit of turbulence into this industry as well. The third, which one is very interesting, is that the base model layer, so this is the LLMs like GPT or Llama, and then also the image generation tools like Flux or Stable Diffusion and more, they're becoming a commodity. They're no longer viewed as novelties, but they're becoming more of the building blocks of the future and today. At Layer, we've had the privilege of partnering with a lot of game studios. Here's a couple of those. And we discussed them about their challenges related to AI. And here are the 4 key things that we've noticed. The first problem that they're struggling with is that AI is moving really fast. Oh, actually, the first one is that the AI tools are not enterprise ready. So this means that they're missing the mark on some key security compliance requirements, like having SOC 2 compliance or ISO 27001. The second one is that this area is moving so fast that it's really hard to keep up to date with what's going on. As soon as you're done procuring one tool, there's already the next one available, and you're spending all these cycles procuring tools instead of actually building your game. The third challenge is that AI tools are still complicated to use. AI itself is not novel, but it's very novel in the use of consumers. Like GPT came out a couple of years ago, but is that going to be the end-all, final way of interfacing with AI? Probably not. And we're still trying to figure out the best way of getting that done. The fourth one is that gaming demands more than just a general-purpose AI. In gaming, we have very unique tools that we use: Blender, Godot, Unreal, Unity, and so forth. And the best tool seamlessly integrates with these things. Beyond that, you also need access to collaborative features, such as being able to comment and collaborate with across developers and artists on that tool as well. So let's dive into the first challenge. So AI tools are not enterprise ready. So we work with a lot of larger game studios like Zynga, and what they need is rock solid security from the platform that they use. This means having things like SOC 2 compliance and ISO 270 certifications. Beyond that, they need direct integration with Active Directory or the employment management software. They also need the ability to manage permissions on the platform as well. The third thing is what they need is access to copyright safe models for production use, but they also need IP safety, which means that the data gets processed in a way that it doesn't get exposed to the public. The fourth thing, which is very important, is having access to audit trails and observability. So if there's a dispute about the generation, for example, infringing on a copyright, you can always trace that generation back to how it was being generated, where copyright is unsafe words used, and so forth. The fifth thing is that as AI is taking over more and more, there's going to be more and more content being created. The challenge is going to be how that content gets managed, which is why asset management becomes even more crucial. At Layer, we exposed some copyright safe models such as Bria. We've also implemented a lot of these features. We have a drive to manage assets. We've implemented audit trails. And we also have a way we have a schema integration, and we have a way for the users to manage teams and members. And we are also SOC 2 compliant. The key thing here to note is that, okay, we're here to talk about AI. Why am I mentioning enterprise features? They're not that sexy, honestly, but that is a requirement for enterprises to actually use these tools. It's always nice to be very flashy and do all the cool stuff, but you need to get the basics done right as well. The second challenge that a lot of these companies are faced with is that it's really hard to keep up to date with the state of innovation. Everything is moving so fast, and like I said, as soon as you're done procuring one tool and having learned one tool, there's already the next one available. So it takes a lot of time. What our customers need and what game companies need is access to the latest models as soon as they're available, because that is a competitive advantage. They also don't want to spend time on spending money and time on procuring these tools, and they just want to build the game. They also need somebody who's going to make sure that as the regulation evolves over time, they stay compliant with that process. Gallium Studios, which is a smaller studio, is building the next generation of Sims. So on the left, you have some of the assets that they were already generating with Layer before. And as soon as 3D models and videos were available, they were able to solve for new use cases on Layer. So I guess the 3D one is not playing there, but basically what they did was they took some of those images and then turned them into 3D models directly on Layer. But now what they're doing as well is generating these videos based on those 2D images as well.
You go back and forth, I think it's played for the...
Yeah. Okay, there you can see the 3D video, yeah. Cool. Anyway, to jump to the third one. So AI tools are still complicated to use. So what the game studios really need is an intuitive UX so that artists can directly tap into the value without having to spend a lot of time learning a new tool. Further, they need deep integrations with their existing software. So this means what I mentioned earlier, Unity, Godot, Unreal, Blender, maybe digital asset management tools that you might be using. They need help onboarding their teams onto the platform of their choice. And often they also need specific AI expertise. So in the best case, you get really good results from AI by itself using the tool that you have. But the reality is, to get the best, absolute best results, you still need specialized knowledge that we can also help with. Huge games, there's an example of huge games, but something that we made very easy at Layer is the ability for you to create your own custom style. So what you can do is you can come into Layer with 8 to 10 images, upload them in, we create a custom fine-tune, what they call it, and based on that fine-tuning, you can create hundreds of thousands of images in a matter of seconds in the style that you originally had, right? Which saves a lot of time. The fourth challenge is that gaming demands more than just a general purpose AI. It's not enough to just be generating assets, but you need a tool that is going to specifically work in the context of gaming. Gaming has these unique needs, like you need absolute style consistency when you're building a high quality game. The second one is that you need the seamless tool integration. And another thing which is interesting in gaming is that we have a lot of these repetitive tasks, like you're generating mobile banner ads, and I'm sure the game artists don't want to spend time resizing and moving some objects around on a canvas in 100 different sizes across different devices like Android or iOS. It's going to be way more convenient if you can automate that task of basically generating those banner ads and spend time doing more creative stuff, right? And another important thing is that you need the collaboration tools directly on the platform. in gaming, you're going to be interfacing across artists, game developers, game directors, art directors, and more, and you need those collaborative tools there as well. Ace Game is benefiting from the style consistency. So they trained various different styles on Layer, but here's an example of a couple of them. And what they do is they create different assets using these styles, and then they leverage Layer's canvas tool to basically compose them into game UIs. And once they're done with that, they can export that file as a PSD and then do further refinements on a Photoshop as well, right? But yeah, but beyond those customers, there's more game assets being created on Layer. But an interesting thing is that Layer's just not used for creating game assets. And another broader point is that like AI today can be used much more than just game assets in general. It can be used for creating marketing content or even live ops content, right? One interesting detail note is that if you think about the industry today, the cost of AI is going down, the speed of AI is getting higher, and the quality is getting better. We're getting more modalities like video. So I foresee that within the next couple of years, it's going to be cost efficient for us to create personalized content for players using AI to help drive higher LTV, right? So today that might be cost prohibitive, especially because like things like hyper casual or super hyper casual. But eventually, it's going to be efficient. So at Layer, these are some of the things that we're betting on in hopes for the future. So the one thing is multimodality. So this means that we can produce assets across 2D, 3D, video, and audio, which we can already today. But it's also about having the ability to grow across these modalities. Being able to convert the 2D image into 3D or a video or the 2D image into an audio clip, for example. But being able to go back from 2D, 3D into an image and so forth. So it's the ability to go seamlessly across these different modalities. The second one is that we want to make it possible for game studios that have unique needs to automate their creative pipeline. So this means being able to create kind of like a workflow engine to automate, for example, the generation of those banner ads and more. You can do variation testing and so forth. The third thing that we think is going to be very important is the use of generative AI in live ops. So possibly creating personalized content for players based on their history or usage to drive up that LTV. The fourth one is that as more assets get created and enterprises adopt the AI tools and you have more users, you need better tools to manage the content as well, which is why asset management is going to be very important. The fifth one is that we're also looking into how we could leverage extended reality as a way to interface with AI, maybe VR, for example, right? Here on the left, we have a quick video of how that workflow engine builder might work, and we're hoping to ship this soon. Overall, whether it's Layer or something else, we think that the best AI tool is going to be a seamless layer across all of these different modalities, binding into a single tool for your users to use. So in summary, you should maximize your studio's productivity with a single enterprise-ready tool that evolves with AI. Empowering your team to focus on game development instead of lengthy procurement processes and learning new tools. And yep, that's it all, folks. And we'll be happy to take some questions from you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Right. So, do we have any questions from the audience? We can get a mic to you. Oh, you've got a mic down there. Did you want to ask a question?
No. I'm in case they have questions.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
You've got a mic. Good. Oh, there's one here behind you. There we go.
Hi. Do you, in your experience, see these tools mostly being used by artists to speed up their workflow or non-artists to get stuff done?
So today, we started off in 2D, so it was specifically used by artists first. But now with the introduction of 3D, for example, and once with audio, we see that probably indies and game developers would benefit from this very much as well, if that makes sense, right?
Great, thank you. Do you have any? Oh, there's one over that side. I'll run. Oh, I think someone's bringing the mic to you there. Thank you.
Hello. Thanks for sharing. just for a background, my previous job was I was head of strategy at Garena, a global publisher, and I used to work on some publishing games or self-development projects. And what I saw was that usually game developers they spend a lot of resources on initiating new projects, but it took a lot of time, and eventually it didn't pass some metric tests and it got killed. But I just wonder that do you see these kind of tools would help for not just for existing projects, but also for a new game development project as well, in which case that you can save a lot of time in terms of have a prototype quicker and have a test in global scale, test the graphics within not 2 years, but within several months or weeks and save a lot of resources. I think that would have a huge impact for these bigger scale companies. So just curious your experience, maybe not for now, but what's the potential in the future that for these strategies they can make quicker decision and save a lot of resources for these corporate.
Yeah, let me just summarize that question so I make sure I got it correctly. It's more of can this tool be more in the conception stage to speed up development so that the project doesn't get killed before it actually gets delivered?
Yeah, or if you have to kill it, you can kill it earlier, not wait until.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely, 100%. I obviously don't have time to go into all the things that we're thinking about doing, but some of the things that we're planning on doing is the ability to create mood boards and this type of stuff so that you can collaborate on the idea of the game very soon. You don't need to come into Layer and with existing assets, for example. There's already existing styles that you can use to create game assets for your game, for example. So you can get started very, very fast without even having an artist in place. So you could have. That's why I said for even for developers, for example, I'm not an artist, but I can come and draw a couple of boxes and get some assets that I can already use in a game, right? I'm not trying to make a AAA one, right? So I think overall, we're already doing this today, but I'm sure we'll do better with this in the future. But I see that AI is going to allow people to ship games faster and with less resources. And it's not just games, it's a more broader thing across the industries. That's why I think AI is going to enable startups to really thrive because you have way more productivity even with a less amount of people. So yeah, I would say yes.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. I've got one question at the back there, and I think we might be at time. But so do you want to? Thank you very much.
Hi. I'm Primoz. We're a 10-person studio making mobile games. We used your service and scenario, and my question. So we were doing a game think of Travel Town or Merge Mansion, where you need 300 assets, small size, something perfect for an AI, right? And we made a couple ourselves, 2 sets, 30 assets, uploaded them to these platforms, and then see if we could get a new asset out of it, a pack of assets out of it, and we just didn't really. The style didn't get transferred, the line thickness was not there, the color schemes were all over the place, and so on. So it took quite a lot of time to go over everything by an artist manually. Where do you see this going? Are we actually going to be able to produce 100 assets in a day? It took us now, 10 assets a day. Manually, it would be maybe 5, so it doubled the process. How far do you see this going in the midterm?
My quick summary, I'll let Burcu answer this because she deals with a lot of these customers and these types of concerns specifically. But in short, I would say we're moving fast and enhancing the AI generation by itself. But beyond what we are doing at our layer level, the base model layer is getting better and better as well. So if I think about where AI was a year or 2 years ago, 6 months from now already, everything is going to be higher quality and so forth. But I'll leave it up to Burcu because she deals with a lot of these kind of questions from customers.
Hi, Primoz, right? Yes, nice to see you again. We actually, funny you mentioned, we work with both Travel Town team and Merge Mansion. So what you're facing right now, and we're working relentlessly on optimizing that, is the self-serve onboarding. Both teams who found success and making those games were actually onboarded by us. So as soon as we did a workshop and explained how these differences between models, how to caption these, even though we have default configurations in place, they're not necessarily giving you the best results for specific things you want to do. That's why we interfere there and really help the customer. So I think you as a small studio come in and try, didn't get optimal results. This is a common situation we're facing. However, we exactly found what needs to be better, and we're currently working on improvements. So what are some of these things? Initially, of course, types of images you upload and how AI perceives that art style and how that art style should be communicated and configured in the system so that you can regenerate those assets with like just a few words, hopefully without any hustle. But yeah, it's not that straightforward at the moment. Yeah.
Thank you for your answer. We have to leave it there. We've got our next speaker. A round of applause, please, for Leia AI, our speaker, Joona and Virgo. Thank you.